Hey, this is Jim from Rupert's Woodworks. Today I'm going to show you with a few simple techniques how I took some old pallets and turned them into a rustic looking weathered flag. So if you want to see how I do it, stick with me and I'll show you how. First thing I had to do was cut the pieces down to their rough size and rip them. I had 13 stripes total, all of them 1 3/4 inches wide. 6 of them were 42 inches long for the stripes at the bottom, and the top stripes were 26 1/16 inch long. So then I took them over to my miter saw and I squared up all the edges. I want to make sure they're all square so that when I make my final cut, everything is nice and straight. On my miter saw stand, I actually have a stop block, which is really nice for when I'm making repeatable cuts. I had 13 cuts that I had to do, and only had to move my stop block once, which was really nice. This assures me that they are all going to be the exact same length, and I don't have to go back and make any recuts or anything like that. So really like having this stop block set up. It takes a minute to get set up, but once you have it set up, it's really nice knowing that all my cuts are going to be perfect. And next thing I have to do is cut out the backdrop behind the stars. This is 15 16 inch wide and 12 inches tall. So all my pieces were 12 inches tall, and then I ripped them down to 3 3/16 and then put them all together. Before I got to that, I actually had to make part of the flag look weathered. So the backdrop behind the stars, and then 7 of the stripes I hit with a vinegar and steel wool mix. So I'll leave a link in the description to where I found this. But basically it's painting with water. It's super easy, very quickly it applies, and within a couple minutes you can really see the difference it makes. It really makes it look weathered, and overnight you come back and it looks like the pallet wood has been outside for years. And then I'm ready to glue it down. So I actually had to do this in sections. The board's really warped on me, so off camera I put in the first 2 stripes at the bottom and clamped them down and actually screwed them from underneath to assure there'd be no movement. And then I applied the next 4, same method, clamping them down, maneuvering them into position, making sure everything was nice and square. Add about every clamp I own, add some weights, and finish off with my pin nailer just for some added clamping pressure. Now when all said is and done, I will go back and flip them over and screw it down from underneath. So next I'm on to the top 7 stripes, and just like before, I'm going to clamp them down, add some heavy weights, make sure everything is nice and square. I do add blocks in between the clamps and the flag just so I don't damage the flag itself. I have made this mistake in the past, so trying to maneuver everything into position. This clamp actually popped because there was so much pressure, so I added the weight, then added about every clamp I own, and let it dry. Next, to the backdrop of the stars, I added an ample amount of glue. I put a ton of glue on the whole bottom side of the flag. This really helps in holding everything in place, and then clamp those down, just like before. Add my heavy-duty, handy-dandy weight. Next, I just have to put on the stars, so add a little glue, and then I use my pin nailer. I line these up, just eyeballing them, and the pin nails will hold as a clamp here, and once the glue dries, that will really hold them in place. So I just eyeballed them, and every once in a while I just peeked at them from the side to make sure everything was nice and straight. And I get these at a local craft store. They come in multiple sizes. And then here I'm just screwing it down from the back side just to assure that everything stays in place and nothing wants to pop. And then I'm on to the polyurethane. So this is my favorite part. it really, really makes it pop. So it really pulls out all the rough sawn sections, and it actually turns the lighter colored pallet wood like a yellowish, like gray or yellow tan color. So really makes it look old. And again, I applied 3 coats of the polyurethane and then sanded it down between each coat. The tricky part with this is just doing around the stars, so make sure you have it nice and smooth so you don't have any bubbles or buildup of polyurethane. And that's about it. Alright, so I'm all finished. I got 3 coats of polyurethane on it, and after applying the polyurethane, it really makes it stand out. I was really happy with the vinegar stain for the stripes and for the backdrop of the stars. And this was the first time I made one with the Betsy Ross design, or the original 13 colonies. So really happy with it. It looks really old and vintage. And I actually made this for a good friend. He has asked me for one of these before, and he's really good with electrical work. And I can switch an outlet or put in a new light fixture, but I actually wanted to rework some of the wiring in the shop. So he's actually, in exchange for me making this, he's going to help me come and tie into my circuit breaker so that I can add some outlets in my shop. Behind this flag on the wall, where I just put in a lumber rack, stay tuned for a video for that. He's going to help me run a couple lines so that I don't have to run extension cords all over my shop. And he's actually going to put in a 220 line as well, so that I can hook up my table saw to a 220 line so it'll run more efficiently. So stay tuned for that. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you do see anything in my videos, any tools that I used that you liked or you'd like to have in your shop, check out the Amazon links I leave below. That really helps me out a lot. Even if you find something on Amazon that's not linked, just by using my links that I have shared as an access point, it really helps out my channel. So if you have any suggestions or comments below, please leave them. I'll leave the overall dimensions of the flag. I wanted it to be proportionate. I'll leave those in the description. So thanks for staying with me, and take care.